I meditate every single day, and sometimes people be getting on my nerves. Hello, Ego Diana here. Welcome back to EGO Initiative, where we create self-care systems to help us live our best lives and support our communities without sacrificing our health. Happy Wellness Wednesday, you all. Today I'm going to be talking about meditation. I'm going to be sharing some common misconceptions about meditation, how to actually meditate, and then in the end I'm going to be sharing some breathing techniques that can support you in your meditation. A lot of folks have very wild and different misconceptions about meditation. People have different opinions, especially in the world of wellness. It's such a overused term and it can have so many connotations. That can actually be a barrier for people to actually want to practice meditating. And the funny thing is that by definition, to meditate is simply to think deeply about, to be focused and think deeply about something, to plan something that requires some mental attention, essentially. The funny thing is that people talk about, oh, I can't meditate because I can't stop thinking, but really to meditate is to think deeply. For folks who are believers who believe in God, it's scriptural to meditate on the word of God and scriptures and his law, statutes, and commandments. And so there's also that as well. Now, some of the misconceptions, I share the first one is that in order to meditate, you have to stop thinking. And so that's one thing that people always say, I can't stop thinking, I can't stay still. We're not supposed to stop thinking, but you are supposed to, actually, I'll get into that later. So that's one misconception. The other one is you have to sit perfectly still in a particular way. You have to cross your legs in order for it to be a meditation. That is absolutely not true. You can sit in any position that you want to be honest. You have a walking meditation, as long as you can literally do anything and think at the same time. And so it is just totally bogus for folks to think that because they can't cross their legs in a particular type of way, then they can't meditate. Another misconception is that people think that meditation is only for folks who are in pain or who have stress and anxiety and people who are depressed. All these things, people kind of suggest meditation for, you're going through anything, meditate. You're feeling sad, meditate. You are not motivated, meditate. And that is actually helpful for all of those situations, but meditation is for any and everyone to engage in. And the other one is that if you are someone who meditates, that then you're zen all the time and you're never upset. That is absolutely a lie. I meditate every single day, and sometimes people be getting on my nerves. And then another thing is that people think that when you meditate the one time, then you're all good and you're fine and you could just go and live your life. That's not the case. You're supposed to meditate consistently. The last thing is that it's new age jargon, which I've kind of touched on throughout. It's really not just about wellness for me, quote unquote. I believe in God. I believe what the Bible says. So I meditate on the scriptures consistently. When I read my scriptures in the morning, I meditate right afterward. A lot of people that kind of are hesitant towards meditation, they are folks who do believe in God. However, you can separate that from the worldly definition of what meditation looks like. The word meditate is in the scriptures. Now let's talk about how to actually meditate. Now I want you to get comfortable. First tip for meditation is to set an intention. What are you meditating about? For folks who are like, I can't think or I can't stop thinking, it's because you haven't set an intention yet. So, like I said earlier, I meditate right after I read the scripture. When I go into my meditation, I have an idea in mind. What have I just read? What does it mean to me? How can I apply it to my life today? Then I think, what kind of day do I want to have? That's kind of how I build my intention around what I'm going to meditate on. So you want to be able to set an intention. Why are you sitting here? What are you actually going to think deeply about in this moment? The next tip is when your mind drifts, then you can come back to that intention that you have set at the beginning of your meditation practice, and that will help you stay on task. I'm going to share another thing later on that will be really helpful for you to come back to. But whenever your mind drifts, come back to your intention. Whenever you get distracted, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. It happens. And then the final thing that helps with meditation is thinking about what works best for you. Kind of like when you are working, do you like to listen to music? When you're studying, do you like to listen to music? Or do you like for it to be completely quiet? Kind of set the tone for yourself. Also, if you are just starting out, maybe listening to something actually playing, someone actually talking. And so you can listen to a guided meditation where someone's talking about something that makes sense to you, or someone is just talking in terms of like in a soothing tone, or you're just listening to music that's soothing for you, that is also a meditation as well. Try different things out, see what works for you. Is it uncomfortable for you to sit cross-legged? Sit however you want to sit. Make sure that you are comfortable in your position, or even if you're walking, obviously you can't meditate with your eyes closed and be walking, and so you need to have your eyes open. If you're driving as well, you don't want to be closing your eyes trying to meditate. So think about those things in terms of your comfort, your safety, all these rules that people have around meditation. You don't need to be restrictive in terms of how you are going to meditate. Let's get into actual doing the work. So key things to remember when you're actually meditating is that it's a practice. It's called a meditation practice for a reason, because you got to do it consistently. It's not just a one and done thing. So if you ever feel like, oh, I'm not good at this, keep trying, keep practicing. It's practice, it's a process. So you're not going to get it in the first day. You might not get it in the 10th day. You might completely forget to meditate on a particular day. That's fine. Just meditate the next day. The other tip I want to share is to set a schedule. Think about what works best for you. It might be helpful for you to attach it to something that you know you always do every single day. For instance, like brushing your teeth, and then making sure that you have a cue or a reminder for you to do so. So maybe, yes, you want to meditate right after you brush your teeth because it's something you do all the time, but you might forget when you're leaving the bathroom. Maybe you put a candle in your bathroom to remind you to meditate, or you put incense in there to remind you to meditate. For me, my Bible is right beside my bed, and the first thing I do when I wake up is send a prayer up, and then I make my bed. Then I read my scriptures. So all those things are in the same vicinity. So there's no way that I would forget to do one thing or the other. The only time that I wouldn't do that in that sequence is if I have woken up a little bit later, running late to somewhere, and then I will do it on the go. Now that I say that, it's really important that you have systems in place for when you miss a day. What does it look like? Or if you have to, because you know you're running late, what are you going to put in place in order for you to continue to have that as a practice for yourself, so that you're not falling off the wagon, not meditating for like 3 months and then you come back to it and then you're on again and then you're off again. So making sure that you have a system in place for, okay, so if I miss this day, or if I happen to miss this morning, what does it look like for me to make up for it? As always, be kind with yourself, be compassionate. If this is something new that you're trying out, you're gonna forget sometimes. It's gonna be tricky for you to stay focused. Your mind is gonna wander off into a million things, but once you get this as a practice, it is so helpful for your day-to-day life. Last big thing that I want to share with y'all is breathing. It's another thing that you can come back to when your mind drifts off or you get interrupted. Just come back to your breath. A lot of us do not breathe deeply enough. Like I've said multiple times, breathing is one of our greatest gifts. Not everyone wakes up the next day. So express gratitude by breathing deeply and often enough, because you have the ability to. Breathing is a huge part of meditation. There are different breathing techniques that could support you in terms of getting really focused and into your subconscious. So I want to share quick breathing techniques with you all that can support you in your meditation, or if you are in a situation where you're experiencing high levels of stress or things are about to escalate. It's really important for you to be able to take deep breaths in those moments. Excuse yourself or do it in the moment. Take a deep breath before you respond, so that you're not reacting as opposed to responding in a way that speaks to who you are. I'm going to start with something called square breathing. The idea is that you are inhaling and exhaling on the count of 4, and then you're doing it 4 times, so hitting the 4 corners of a square. One thing with breathing deeply is making sure that when you are inhaling, you are allowing your stomach or your diaphragm to expand, kind of like you're filling air into a balloon. And then when you're exhaling, you want to contract your stomach or diaphragm and kind of imagine your belly button trying to touch your spine. You're going to inhale on the count of 1, 2, 3, 4, and hold. And then you're going to exhale all the way out for 4, 3, 2, and then 1, and hold. And then you're going to do that 4 times. So that is the square breathing. And the next one is the 5-part breathing. Now this is thinking about different parts of your body and how the air is moving through your body. So you can either just imagine what the air is doing in your body, or you can imagine a light moving through your body. So when you inhale, you're going to imagine the air moving through your stomach. That's one part. Your chest, your throat, your head, and just right above your head, that's where you hold it. So that's 5 parts. And then you exhale and you think of the breath going through the same channel. So your forehead, your throat, your chest, and your stomach. And so again, when you're thinking about that, the movement of the breath, that helps you focus on your breathing and making sure you're breathing deeply enough. The last one is a body scan, and it's the same idea, just thinking about the air moving to different parts of your body. If you are someone who's sitting cross-legged, when you're thinking about the air moving in your body, you might be like, oh, my leg feels uncomfortable, so let me uncross my legs, or let me sit in a different position. So when you're doing a body scan, it allows you to think about areas of your body that might be a little stiff while you are sitting down and thinking about something. Just throughout your day too, you can pause. If you are always on your computer, you could pause and do a quick body scan and make sure that you are breathing right and deeply enough. And so those are the 3 techniques that I am aware of and that really support me throughout my day, in my meditation as well, or if I'm experiencing any high levels of stress or uncertainty, or just like weird times when I'm in space or in conversation with people. I think about breathing deeply, and I meditate on scriptures that I've either read in that morning or scriptures that can support me in that moment. I hope that that supported you all today, and that you are able to take some of these tips into your meditation practice and share with a friend. If someone also has certain misconceptions about meditation, you can share this video with them as well. And of course, if you just want to be a part of the tribe, all you got to do is subscribe, pull up a seat, make sure that you are staying hydrated. Say your piece in the comments below, and I'll talk to y'all real soon. Peace and love.